What's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler Potts, and in today's video we're going to be creating this music player UI inside of React, and then in part 2 of this video we're going to be creating the actual functionality for it. So in this part we're doing the look, and in the next part we'll do the functionality. So what we're going to be doing is obviously styling this up, adding in a component, which multiple components. We're going to have a parent component, which is going to be the overall player, and then we're going to have child components such as controls and the details and other stuff like that inside of the component. So this is what we're looking at so far. So guys, let's get started. Okay guys, so we're in a new directory, and in here you need to have Node.js installed along with npm package manager, and then we're going to use npx create react app, and then we're going to give it a name. So this app is going to be tutorial music app. Enter, and this is going to start creating a music app using the create react app boilerplate. So I'll see you once that is done. Okay guys, so as you can see, it's now completed, and it gives us some options. So the option we're going to do is cd into the project tut music app cd. Now we're in that file, I'm going to clear that, and then once we've done that we can run npm start. Now I'm going to run code docs. It's going to open it up in Visual Studio Code so I can actually start coding away. There we go. Let's just go in here and let's clean up some things. So we don't need app.css, we're going to do everything in index.css. I don't see the point of making style components unless you're creating components for reusable components from different web apps. Sorry, my mind went blank. We're going to delete that. We're going to go into index.js and we're going to remove this call to that. We don't need this. We're just removing anything we don't need. In index, we're just going to clear this and leave it as blank. And in app, we're just going to remove the two imports at the top. We're going to remove everything from inside of our app, so the whole header, and then we're just going to put app in here, hit save, and I think that is everything done. So we don't need the index.js file, but we do have app.js and index.css. So over here, now we're going to run npm, not nom start, npm start, and hit enter, and it's going to load up our React project, or start a development server for our React project. So there you go. Now if we refresh here, well, it's still loading, else it would have already reloaded. There you go, and now it just says app. So if we update in here, say app test, save, it automatically updates there without even having to refresh perfectly. So inside of our app, we need literally to create a new component. So we're not going to have anything in here, we'll just say components here. So we're going to create a player component. But before we do that, I am just all over the place. What am I doing? How do I get rid of this? Go back. Close. Open. Sorry, I broke it. Okay, so inside of our app here, we're going to import use state from React. So we actually have the use state function to hand. We're then going to create a constant which is called songs, and then we're going to have set songs. We'll set this equal to use state, and it's going to be an array, and I'm going to copy and paste this array of songs so we don't have to write it all out. Okay, so what we've got in here is a few songs. We've got a title, an artist, an image source, and a music source. So the source is for where the song is placed. Now we've got folders in here. We've got images and music. Now these don't go in our source. We're going to create these inside of our public. I'm actually going to copy these and paste them into here from another project, just so we have them all here ready. I'm then going to also get the music, which I'm going to also copy and paste in here. And there you go, we've got the music. So it's the same stuff from our previous just plain JavaScript video. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out on the channel. But so we've got just song images, which are just squared off images, just like this, which are obviously linked in here. So you see song 1, song 2, song 3, and song 4. Then we've got the music. There's just 2 songs, but I've looped them twice. I've moved them around. There we go. So they're in there now. Although we won't need the music for this video, it's just nice to have it in there ready. So this will all be in the Git repo. If you want to download this, the link will be in the description. So we've got that. Let's close this side panel. So we've got our songs, we've got here, we now need to create the component that handles the song stuff and actually brings it through. So let's actually create a new, I need to open that back up. Don't know why I closed it. Let's create a new folder. This folder we called components. And inside that components we have a new file, and it's going to be called player.js. So this will be our music player one. We actually need two more as well. We need player details.js, and also one last file which will be player controls.js. We won't do anything with those two right now. We'll just go to stick with the straight up player.js. And what we need to do is we need to go into app.js and import that now. So let's go to players and let's do RFCE. So this using, if we go to our extensions, I'm using the ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native extension here that allows me to run quick snippets such as RFCE, if I can get down to them, these stuff which will quickly create boilerplates like this for React and other things as well. So that's pretty cool. So we've got the player, we've imported it. Just going to add some semicolons in here. And we're actually going to give this a class name. I wonder if anyone can guess the class name we're going to give. It's C player. And you wonder why I'm using C. Anything hyphenated with a C stands for components. It's kind of a way I like to build things now. And in here we're going to need an audio. So this is where we actually don't need a source just yet. But this is going to be where the music plays from. We then need a H4, which is actually just going to say playing now. We're then going to need the details, and we'll just add enough comment for controls. So those components are going to go in here, and then we're going to have a P, which has a strong that says next up, and then after it, it's going to have our song. So for now, we'll just say Whit Lowry. Not Whit Lowry, kindest regards by Whit Lowry. Wrong way around. Kindest regards by Whit Lowry. Kindest regards by Whit Lowry. So that's going to be the song we play next. Obviously, this will be dynamically generated from our list here. We'll actually grab this. And we actually need to create two more for this. So let's create two more things inside of app.js. We're going to have a constant. It's going to say current song index, and then set current song index, and we'll set this equal to uState, and it's just going to be 0. We're then going to grab a second one, and we're going to change current for next. And we go over here, we can change that to a capital N, and we're actually just going to say in here current song index plus 1. So that's going to be, this state will always be whatever the current song index plus 1. So we've got that, which is great. But now we actually need to use these information. So we actually need to get our player in here. So let's say import player from ./component/player. Now we've got that, we can actually call that inside of here. We're just going to go here and say player. We're then going to pass through some props. So this prop's going to be songs, but we're going to pass the current song. So it's songs, current song index. And then we're going to pass through next song, which is going to be equal to songs with the next song index. And there you go. So we're passing through the current song. I'm just going to break these down so you can read it a bit better. So we're going to pass through the player, the song, and the next song, which we want to play, which will go into the player, which we can call props. And from the props, we can say in here, let's say for next up, we can go here, remove this, or kindest regards, create some template, go props.nextsong.title, and then props.nextsong.artist. Oh, sorry, that should be in curly braces. There we go. So now we go back, and you can see it says song 2 by artist 2. So let's go back to our app here. Let's change song 2 to song 22 just to test. And as you can see, it says song 2 by artist 2. There we go. So go back, and now it'll just be song 2 by artist 2 now. So we've got playing now and next up. But now we need the details. We actually need more information. So let's go to our player, and we've got our details comment here. So let's go and create the player details component. So we're going to say RFCE. Again, you can just write this out by hand, or you can go download the extension to do this for you. Inside of class name, we're going to have C player hyphen details. I'm then going to have a details hyphen image. And then inside there, we're going to actually have an image which will have a source. And that is it. But we won't pass that through just yet. We're then going to have a H3 with the details hyphen title. And we're going to have the song title in there. And then we'll have a H4 with details hyphen artist. Cool, so we've got these, but we actually need to pass through some props. And the props we're going to pass through is just the song. So inside of here, let's move this up. We're going to say props.song.title. And inside here, it's just going to be, if anyone's guessed it, good job, it's props.song.artist. So we're passing through this props with different variables, of course. And then we've got the image. So inside of our source here, we're just going to say props.song.image_source. And that now will obviously pull through all the data. But first we need to go to our player. We need to import player details from /player details. Now we don't need to put / components because it's in the same directory as the player is. So we're just going to get player details. We're going to go to details and we're just going to put, we'll just say player details. We're going to pass through the song, which is going to be equal to props.song. And that should be all we need to get that up and running. There you go. Now you can see it says playing now. It shows the song 1 image. It gives the name and the artist. And then tells you the next up song. So that is that. But we're missing the controls. So let's go to the controls. Let's go over to controls. And we're actually going to need to install something called Font Awesome Icons. And if you don't know what Font Awesome Icons are, it's this free icon pack. And I will show you how to do it now. So if we go to web and we type in Font Awesome React. You'll see here there's one link at the top. You click on this. And we can scroll down to this information here. So all we have to do is install these free thing. If you're using Yarn, it gives you the Yarn alternative down there. So let's get this, copy, go back. I'm going to press Control Option T to open up my terminal in VS Code. I'm going to press enter or paste and then hit enter to install those. So I'll see you once they're installed. Okay guys, so as you can see that's now finished in my terminal. So I'm just going to close this and then we're going to actually crack on with this player. So we're going to say RFCE. Once we've got that, we've got the create React. Then in here we're going to say import. I'm just going to say font awesome icon from, and we're going to pass through here at font awesome, and not the SVG core, it's actually we need React font awesome. Then we also need to import the icons we want to use. So we're going to be using fab play, fab pause, fab forward, and fab backwards. Now you can find these icons on the actual Font Awesome website. I'm not going to go through that right now. All of these will match whatever is in there. So if it's, for example, pause, whatever the name is, it will be a capitalized or whatever packets from FA, FAL, FAS, whichever packets from it will be there. So we've got this. We now need to give this a class name equal to C player -- controls. We then want to create some buttons in here. So we're going to say button dot skip button, and we're going to times this by 2. So break those down. And now we're going to actually get our icon. So we're going to say font awesome icon. So let's break this down again so we can actually read it a bit better. And we're actually going to say icon is equal to, and then we're going to pass through one of these icons. So for this one, it's going to be backwards, because it's going to be the backwards icon. And if we just copy this, come down to this one here, paste this in, this one's going to be forward. We now need one more button which is in between, and it's going to have the class of play - button, and we're just going to do another font awesome icon. We're going to say pass the icon, which is going to be play. Now we don't actually need the pause for now, but in the next video we will, so we'll leave it in there anyway. So we've got icon, we've got all these set up. Now if we go to our player, we can actually import the controls. So we're going to say player controls from player controls. And then where it says controls, we'll just say player controls. There we go, hit save. If we close this and we go back here, you'll see we now have buttons. So we have all the elements we need now for our app. The issue is it looks terrible. So it's time for a little bit of CSS. So let's move on to the CSS. Okay guys, so inside the CSS we're going to actually just set up some margins. So we're going to say margin 0, padding 0, box sizing, border box, and font family. Now I'm going to use Fira Sans. You can use any font you want. I'm just going to say sans serif. And then I'm going to go down here and say body, background color, DDD, slightly darker grey. And then when we get the app, we're going to display this as flex because we want to center our box. Justify content center and then min height 100 feet H. So if we go back, you can see it's starting to look a little better. It's now centered. Everything's looking a bit weird, but yeah, we get there. So we've got .app. So now we need to sell the actual player. So we've called it C player. We're going to display this as block. We'll give it a background color of 313131. A margin of 0 pixels auto to help center. Padding of 50 pixels. We don't actually need this saying that. I don't know why I added that. Border radius of 16. Oh, that's background beat. Border radius of 16 pixels. And a box shadow. Now, this box shadow is actually quite complex. I'm actually just going to copy it in and show you, explain it. So what will happen in here is in this box shadow, we're creating an inset, which is going to add in some styling to make it look like it's curved. So you can see here, this is the styling. You insert it from the left at -6, -6, 12 pixels, and we give it a dark color, a black. And then we're inserting it from the bottom right, or top left, so I say, because it's 6 pixels, so it's coming down 6 and across 6. And then we're giving it a white, a light grey, or a light with a certain opacity in as well. So if we go back and we refresh, you can see this is there. I don't think the box shadow has actually done anything just yet. I'm just making sure I've wrote it right. No, I think that's fine. I think it's there. It's just not showing too well right now while we're sat like this. So let's actually style up the rest. So if we go down to .c player, and then we're going to get the H4, which is directly inside of C player. We're going to say color, FFF. Font size is going to be 14 pixels. We don't want it big. We actually want it quite small. Text transform of uppercase. A font weight of 400 and a text align of center. So if we go back, you can see it says now playing. It's right there. And actually, you can now see the curvature in the box shadow. Sorry, the inset box shadow has now made it look so we've got like a kind of curved player. So it's kind of like an iPhone screen, kind of old iPhone. You know what I'm saying. And there we go. So that's looking cool. Now let's scroll down in here, and then we're going to say dot. Let's zoom in a little as well. So let's now inside of after our C player, we're going to do C hyphen player, and then we're going to get the P directly inside of it. So it's going to be color AAA, font size again 14 pixels, text align center, and font weight we're going to say 600. So let's hit save. Sorry, font size can actually be 400 because this is this. There we go. So that is now fine. It looks good. It's looking right. So that's good. Let's now go down to our actual player image because the image is kind of broken right now. So let's say C player hyphen details dot details hyphen image. So we'll give this a position of relative. We're then going to give this a width of fit content because we don't want it to overexpand. We're then going to give it a margin of 0 auto to center it. And then we're going to give, we're then going to create C player details dot details image. We're going to display it as a block. Again, we're going to go margin 50 pixels at top and bottom auto. So we can actually put this at 0 pixels and put that at 50 pixels because that's the outer one. We actually need it on the outer one. We're then going to give it a width of 100% and a max width of 250 pixels. We don't want it going past 250 pixels. We want a border radius of 50% to make it rounded. Now, for this to work, you need perfectly square images, which I do have. If you don't, then you may need to get some. And then we're going to get another box shadow and place it underneath. Now, this is a similar box shadow to what we have. We have, but instead of it being inset, it's actually outset. So it's actually on the outside, and you'll see what happens here. So you can see we've got this light edge and this dark edge, and it kind of makes it look like the background is pushing out into a lump and sitting this image on top. So it's kind of pushed out like it's actually sitting out of the screen, but not floating. It's still attached to this. It's kind of weird how it works. It messes with your brain, but that's kind of how I see it. And you might not see it the same, but that's how I see it. And then we're going to get C player details dot details title, and we're going to set the color to this SEE. I'm going to set the font size to about 28 pixels, and then we're going to do a text shadow. So just like we did with the other ones, we're going to get the text shadow. I'm just going to copy and paste that in and then show you what it is. So we've got 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 4 pixels, a dark, -2 pixels, -2 pixels, and a light. So again, it's going to make the text, as you can see, look like it's sitting above the screen. So it's kind of like the text is like a background that's pushing it out and holding it out. It's kind of like a bevel. Let's give this text align center. And then margin bottom of 20 pixels. Sorry, let's do 10 pixels for this. And then we'll do C player details dot details artist. We'll give this a darker color. So we'll give it a AAA. A font size of 20 pixels. Font size. And then we're also going to give it the exact same text shadow from above. There we go. We'll then give it a text align center and a margin bottom of 20 pixels to push the rest down. So if we save, you can see we've got the same sort of effect down here now. So it all looking kind of right. It's sitting up, it's sitting out, it looks like it's bouncing off. It looks like there's a light source coming up here, hitting these sides to give the shade, and then showing a darker edge on the other side. So that's good. So that's all looking right. Now we just need to do the buttons. So let's get the controls. So let's slide this up. C, player details, but instead of details, it's controls. We're going to display this as flex. We're going to align everything to center, justify everything center, and margin bottom of 30 pixels. I'm then going to get the C player controls, and we'll get the play button. Now the play button is going to have a display of flex, a margin of 0, 30 pixels to push the other buttons out, and then a padding of 20 pixels all around. We'll give it a border radius of 50%, and then a box shadow. Again, we're going to copy this and paste it. Now this one is a very complex version because it's not just on the outside. We're actually insetting it too. So as you can see, we've got 2 extra layers on here. So we've got the first, second, third, and 4th layer. So if I just tab this across, so we can actually just sit this down here. And as you can see here, it's got 4 pixels, 4 pixels. So this is layer 1, this is layer 2. Oh my god, that thing is so annoying. Layer 3 and layer 4, which is perfect. So they're the layers. We don't need 2 of those. Thank you very much. And now we need to just remove the border. We're going to set 0 pixels. The outline to none. Sorry, border to none. We don't need a border at all. A background color to FFCE00, so it's a yellow color. The actual icon color needs to be white, and then the font size of the icon needs to be about 24 pixels. We then need a cursor of pointer to show it is pointing, and there you go. We've kind of got this nice little round button. It's very round because it looks like it's obviously circular, but also it looks like it's actually a rounded button on the edges, which makes it look really nice, and it makes it look like it's popping out. So that is looking good, but now we need to do these buttons because they look kind of crap. So let's say C player controls dot skip button. Now inside the skip button, we need background none. Oh, none. We need the border to be none, outline to be none, and the cursor to be pointer. We then want the color to be a dark grey, so we're going to use 8. And then we're going to have the font size of 18 pixels. So quite a lot happened there, but there you go. So as you can see here, this is now styled up correctly. We've got the playing now, which is looking correct. We've got the MGK image, the title, Machine Gun Kelly, and also the buttons, which are all in fine. So let's go back to the app and we'll go through this. So as you can see, we'll import in state and in the play component. We're using the state to create a songs array, which we can loop through. We're getting the current song index and the next song index. So this current song we're playing and then the next song which we're going to play. And we're passing it through to our player component, which so for here, in our player component, we're getting the props and we're passing it through to player details and actually the next up here as well, which is looking good. We then pass everything down to player details as well, which then has in the image, it has in the title and the artist, which we're using the props to display. And then inside of the controls, we've imported a Font Awesome icon pack. We've got the Font Awesome icon backward, play, and forwards, which is now all displaying here. And now, for this video, that is the end. But in the next video, we're going to be making this actual play music, skip music, just like the other JavaScript one we did, which you can still check out. It's on the channel, and I'll try and put a link in the description down below. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, headbutt that bell button so you know when the next video goes live, and I will see you on Wednesday at 8 PM. Thank you very much guys, and peace out.